Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. I am very excited to get this next project started, and if you haven't already seen my previous video where I announced this build, we're going to be working on this. It is my 1995 Eagle Talon with a Mitsubishi Eclipse conversion done on it with the rear end and all that kind of stuff. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm just going to call it the Eclipse build because it makes it easier rather than explaining everything. But anyway, so the plan is to build this as a tribute car to the Brian O'Connor's Eclipse from the first Fast and the Furious movie. So I'm very excited for this. I've been wanting to do something like this for a very long time, and today is the day we get started on this. I've already been doing some stuff on the background on this car. I put all around new brakes on it, put some different wheels and tires on there just to get it rolling better and be able to take it for test drives, make sure it all works good before I really dive into this project. So what I want to do today on this episode is I'm going to start working on the interior stuff. I know it's really backwards from where it should be, but those are parts that I have, and I want to get them all painted and get them ready for when I am ready to actually put them in. So let me take you a little bit closer look on the inside, and we'll get started on this. So as you can see, it is very raggedy looking. This car came with different seats when I bought it. It did not have these seats. I bought a donor car. I took the full interior out of it, and these were the seats that were in the donor car. I just taped them up because they were all ripped up real bad. I didn't want to. I have some good seats. I have some nice buckets inside the house. I just don't want to put them in yet until I am ready for that stage. But this is the interior I'm working with. I have a very rough looking dash. There's, you know, pieces missing and all sorts of other stuff. So the seats in the back are rough. I'm going to do an episode of where I'm going to do a budget repair on those, and instead of having to spend the $1,200 or whatever the guys are charging to properly reupholster them, I'm going to do a budget version for now and see how I like it, and somewhere down the road maybe I'll do something different. But for today I want to work on getting the interior worked on. I want to paint everything black. All the stuff I have is like a gray color, and I'm just not a fan of it. I want to make everything black, make it nice looking clean, and I'll show you how I do that. I've never done it myself before, but I've watched some videos. There's a guy on YouTube that has a really good tutorial on how to do that. If I remember, I'll put his link in the description. But yeah, for now we're gonna learn as we go and see how it works. So I'm gonna take you inside and show you all the parts that I already have for this car ready to go, and see how that works. We're gonna start out here. This is my carpet. I took out of my donor car. I don't have it anymore. I gutted everything out of it and scrapped the car. But it's rough looking, but I pressure washed it, cleaned it all up, made it look nice so that it, so it was a clean start. And I'm going to paint that black as well, so it's going to have black carpet. I know there's carpet kits you can buy, but I'm going to try this. Worst case scenario, I take it out and buy a different kit and go from there. But these are my parts. I have a full new dash out of my donor car. It is a perfect dash. There's no cracks, no scratches. It's really clean. I'm very happy with that. I have all new trim pieces on the inside. I still have the trim pieces for the car that came with it. I have all these blue pieces. They were all in the car when I bought it. They were never attached. They were just in the trunk. And but yeah, so I basically have doubles of almost everything for the interior, and I'm gonna pick the best stuff, see what looks good, works best, and get that painted up. So the reason why I want to paint them now is from the guy that I watched on YouTube who talked about the interior, is to basically the biggest thing is make sure you paint them plenty in advance and let them sit and cure and harden before you start playing with them too much. So I want to get them all done, and then they can just sit, even if it takes a few weeks or a month or whatever, and that way they're perfectly ready and hard and good to get installed in the car and I don't have to worry about it. So I'm gonna start picking through some stuff, see what works good, and get painting on them. I'm gonna show you what kind of paint I'm gonna use. Okay, after going back and forth on the car parts and my car parts, I've decided that I'm going to continue using this center console. I'm going to pull this top lid off. I'm going to use this top lid just because this one's it's not looking so great. I'm going to try to anyway. Hopefully this one looks a little bit better. I got to paint it black to match everything else. This center console is already black, so I'm probably just going to clean it up, make sure it looks nice and doesn't look like there's any scratches or anything, so I'll probably just use that. And there's some other bits and pieces. Basically everything on the table here I'm going to use minus this center console. I got some visors, I got some other parts from the rear of the car, from the trunk. There's still more in the car. I have to pull them all out still before I paint them, but I'm going to concentrate on all this stuff for now. My main concern was getting this dash up and ready to go so that I can get it looking nice and ready so that it can cure up before I move too far forward from pulling my other dash out. So I'm going to sand up some of these parts, all these blue parts. I'm going to sand them all up so that they're all ready to go. Got to clean them all up and yeah, start painting some stuff. Well, there we go. I finally got all of these pieces sanded. There's a whole nother portion to do later down the road. So I have to wipe everything down with acetone and get it into the paint shop and get painting on this and get the first coat in. So let's clean it up. Alright, I got everything wiped down. I'm not going to touch it again to not get the oils from my hands onto there. So, the paint I was talking about earlier is this SEM stuff, however you want to pronounce it. The guy I was watching on YouTube, he has been using this for whatever, 40 years or whatever he said, and always had awesome results and long-lasting results. So that's what I'm going for, especially with the dashboard that's not so easy to touch up or anything. So, my main concern is to get this stuff on here and get it to last. So I don't want it to sun fade or anything like that, and this stuff is supposed to be really, really good with that. It's just a satin black finish that I'm going with. I don't want anything shiny in there. So let's try it out. Let's see what happens. I've never used this stuff before, so I'm gonna shake it up real good and turn the fan on and get painting. Okay, one coat is done. It turned out really nice already. It's very fast drying. It looks really good. I don't know if the camera's even picking it up nicely to show the true difference, but it is nice. It looks a little shiny in here right now, obviously, because the paint is wet. But that's nice. I'm happy with that. I'm gonna go ahead and grab all the other pieces, get them cleaned off, get the acetone wiped off, or use the acetone to wipe them all off, get them all cleaned up, and get some other pieces painted in here. Well, it is done. I got 3 coats on everything that I painted so far, and I am loving this paint stuff. It works amazing. It gives a factory finish. Show you a little close up here. Great light bouncing off. Some of you might notice you got a bubble here. That doesn't bother me because the other dash is way worse. I have no idea how to fix that. And it just doesn't bother me because when it's in the dash, when it's in, you won't see it. But anyway, look at that finish. It is amazing. I love it. I think this stuff is awesome. If you're ever planning on doing something yourself, highly recommend this stuff. Just goes on really, really nice. And it looks like a brand new dash. I am very pleased with that. And there's all my trim pieces as well, same finish, just looks awesome. Turned out really, really well. And then I got some more over here. Same thing, turned out really, really well. I ended up painting this whole thing. Originally I said I wasn't going to, but there was some scratches on the side here and whatnot, and I figured, you know what, let's get it all the same color so it all matches better. If I'm going to go paint it anyway, I might as well do it all. So those are all those pieces done. I went through just over 2 cans of this paint, and again, this stuff is Sim. If you need to know what it is, works really, really well. And I got just started using this can. I got another full can. I'm going to go pull the car out from where it's parked right now just to get better access to it. I'm going to pull all the rest of the pieces out that I want to paint anyway and start working on those. Get those all done so that the whole interior basically will be done. I have the carpet to do. I might have to go out and find some more of this stuff. It's carpet paint as well. Some people say you should dye carpet and whatever else, but they say this stuff works really well for carpet as well, but I'll think about that. We'll see. There's some other products out there that I could use for carpets and see what I can find for that. So, but for now, let's get the rest of those pieces out and get some more stuff going. Get these door panels off, door cards, whatever you want to call them, and paint these blue parts. Probably paint the whole panel just because it's got some scratches and whatnot on there. So I want, like I said already, I want to make everything look nice. So I have a cover for this, so don't worry about that. Yeah, I gotta paint the airbag or do something with that. trying to decide if I want to do an airbag delete on it or not and do one of those buckets that people do in these cars, or just like a flat plate, put some gauges in there like in the movie, but we'll see. For now, let's get some more interior pieces pulled apart. Is that this piece is already inside, and same with the other pieces that were missing up there. So I got a B pillar or an A pillar trim to pull off, and I think that's it. That should be all the interior pieces. Oh no, sorry, I lied. There's one right here. How do I get to it? There we go. That's one way to do it. I'm gonna fall. Well, I got all my parts in here. I went and grabbed a couple other things out of the car. I forgot under dash trim. But before I get too crazy with all this stuff, getting all this stuff started, I'm going to reassemble some of the parts that I already painted just to get them all back together so I don't lose any of the screws, and so everything just kind of fits together nicely. So I'm going to clear off the table a little bit and get some of those pieces put together so they're not just laying around separately. Ah, figured it out. Got it handled. There it goes in there. That works. Oh, that looks so much better than that. Look at that upgrade. That's the old one, and that's the new one. Looks like a brand new piece. Very, very happy with that so far. Let's put that on here now. Here we go. That works that. That looks so much better than the blue. Very happy with that. So this is the insert tray for here. I decided to leave it blue just because something different, something to keep it inside of there. You're not going to see it unless it's open, so adds a little pop of color, and I'm okay with that. So that looks really nice. Very well cleaned up. I'm very happy with that. Okay, those are all my pieces put together that I did so far. That turned out awesome. I'm really, really pleased with how that turned out. Could not be happier. It looks like a brand new piece. Looks like I just went and bought it, and very, very happy with that. It's going to look amazing once that car is put back together. Same with this dashboard. I'm very happy with that. So anyway, let's continue on these parts. I do need to go to the store to get more paint. I'm going to get a slightly different type. It's just called the trim paint. Works really well as well. It's just a matte black finish. It'll all match everywhere. But I think that's what I'm going to use in the trunk, because a lot of the trunk is going to get kind of built in with speakers. I'm going to get subwoofers. I'm going to get some amps and all sorts of stuff. So all that's going to be built in there. So you probably won't see too much of this. We'll see how it goes, but that's kind of the plan now. But so I don't want to use this other stuff. This stuff is very expensive. That's the thing. This SEM paint that I was using for all this vinyl stuff, it's expensive. So I'm going to get some matte black trim paint, which works just as well, but it's perfect for trim. This other stuff is just good for vinyl. That was my main concern, was to get this dashboard with that good stuff to make sure that that was going to last. So I'm going to prep and get these things ready, and then I'll probably going to head out, get some paint, and continue. I'm going to take a little pause from prepping all the other stuff, but I was trying to think about this whole airbag thing and what I want to do with the airbag. I'd like to keep it just for safety reasons, obviously, rather than eliminating it. So I want to try something. This is the airbag that came out of my parts car, and it's coming apart like every 2G Eclipse does. And I'm going to try to fix it. I want to try to stick it down. I want to see if I can make it work so it looks nice. And then I'm going to test fit it in here carefully so I don't damage my freshly painted dash, just to see what it looks. And if it looks good, then I'm going to paint it as well to match. And then I still have an airbag. So that's let's see how that works and see if I can make it work. I'm going to try some spray adhesive. Same kind of stuff you would use for doing like headliners and whatnot. No idea if it's going to be strong enough to hold this in for forever, but I'm going to try it out and see what happens. And I'll let that sit and cure. Gotta let that get tacky on both sides. And then I'll clamp it down. Okay, it's been sitting for a few minutes, setting up. I don't know if you ever used this stuff before. You just gotta let it get tacky on both sides. So usually about 2 minutes or so works just fine. I let it sit for about 5 or 10. I'm gonna let that sit like that for a minute and see what it does. Well, the whole airbag thing was a fail. That did not work as I had planned, so I started from scratch, started again. So I have 2 airbags. I have one that's still in the car. This is my backup one that I had in my parts car, so I'm experimenting some stuff. So what I was trying to do is, I don't like the way the corners pop up and how it sits inside the dash, so I want to get this thing as flat as possible. So I took my airbag apart, more or less. I took the whole cover off of it, and I'll show you what I did. So I have the cover removed off of the bag itself. I cleaned all that up, and all the edges, they were all kind of bent up around, so they weren't sitting as flat as they could. So what I want to do is glue this back on here now to try to get this as flat as possible in there. So like I said, I bent all these tabs around to get them lower, and I took my cover, and there was a lip around the edges, and I cut all that lip off. I think when these are made in the factory, the lip is there to kind of reach around, but over time they let go and whatever else. So I wasn't able to get it to fit with the way that was. So I took it and I trimmed it. I got a whole bunch of pieces trimmed off of the back of the airbag there, and the unit itself in there was a rubber trim around the underneath side as well. I cut that off so that whole thing sits just a hair lower. So what I want to do now, I have this contact cement. I have no idea if this is going to work, so I'm going to try it out. Hopefully it works. It should work. This stuff is really good. My only concern is with it sticking to this stuff. I'm not sure if it'll stick to the foam really well. It's supposed to stick to all sorts of stuff, but hey, I'll try it out. We'll see what happens. I hope it works, because I would love to be able to continue using airbag rather than deleting it, because I wouldn't be able to live with it sticking up. It just drives me nuts. I don't like that look at all. So this thing also was warped a little bit, whatever you want to call it. So I took a heat gun and I kind of heat gunned it and kind of got it shaped back to the form that I want it. And I've been test fitting it in there, and it fits really well. I'll show you a little bit how it looks. See if I can get this on camera, how it looks. So I'm hoping that when it's in there, it's going to look something like that. I think you can kind of see that on there. But once that's glued down, it'll look a lot better than how high up it was popped before. Sorry for the shaky camera work. Just trying to get you a good angle here. So I think that should do the job, and it'll still perfectly functioned fine. I'm just gonna, oops, sorry again. I'm just going to glue the edges and probably a little bit in the middle. That's the same place as it was glued when it was done like that. So I want to get all that in there and glue it all down. And I'm really hoping that's gonna work. So let's try that out, see if it works. I just want to make it clear this is not a how-to video or do what to do. I am doing this for me. Do at your own risk. I am not responsible for anybody else doing something involving airbags. Alright, I'm going to let that set up. It's got to sit in for a minimum of 15 minutes so it can cure up. And once that's ready, I think I'm going to stick the airbag unit itself into the dash, and then I will press this on top. But maybe I'll just do it here. We'll see. While we wait for the airbag stuff to dry up and get me ready to put that on, I'm going to start sanding and prepping some of these other parts to get some more paint work done. Alright, we're going to take a quick break and work on this thing for a second. I think this is all cured up. Let's see what happens. So that's in there. That's all basic tackiness. You can touch it. It doesn't do anything. And this stuff is the same thing. So let's see what happens. See if I can get this thing to stick down where I want it to. The thing is with contact cement, if you've ever used it before, once you're down, you're pretty committed. Okay, I'm going to pull this up and I'm going to press it harder so I don't break the dashboard. There's no clamping needed for this stuff. But I might, just to be safe, for a little bit. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Let's see what it looks like in here. Oh yeah, that'll work. Oh, I'm very pleased with that. Let's hope it stays that way. Let's see if I can get you a better look here. Once it's bolted in, this will get sucked down a little bit. But otherwise, that is in. And where can I get you? There's a good shot. See how nice and smooth that is over. That's fantastic. Okay, I'm going to paint that up. I'm going to paint it up so it matches the rest of the dash, and then we'll see when it's all painted up and see what it looks like in there. I just want to take a quick second. I got both my door panels, they have a crack in right on the top where the vent is. And I'm going to do a little bit of plastic repair. I bought this stuff off Amazon, Q-Bond. It had really good reviews. I've been hit and miss with it. Sometimes it works good, sometimes it doesn't. So I did one door panel. It seems to work okay. So I'm going to show you how I repair it, and hopefully it lasts. And maybe if you have small little cracks that work, or that you have that you want to repair, this will help you out as well. So basically you got this powdered stuff that's in here, and then there's the crazy glue. So my crack is right here. It's broken by this vent. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spread some of this powdered stuff over top, and then I'm going to pour some glue over it, and it dries within seconds, and it should repair. Let's see if I have the same luck on this one as I did on the other one. So there you go, that was real time, not sped up or anything, and it is now fixed. So we'll see how long that lasts, and yeah, again, like I said, sometimes it's hit and miss. Some things seem to work really well, sometimes it doesn't. On this stuff, it works really well, apparently, so we'll see if it lasts a long time. All right, I got the third coat done on the airbag. I'm gonna go grab it, and I'm gonna stick it in here. Let's see how it looks when it's all painted to match. Wow, that looks perfect. Seriously, I can't believe how good that turned out. Very, very nice. Very clean lines. Well, at least in my opinion, but I'm sure somebody out there will disagree, but I'm happy with that. That's much better than the edges always poking up. And I can live with that. That's perfect. So yeah, awesome. Well, let's continue with this. It's taking me forever to sand these parts, so I'm probably just going to turn the camera off and do them all, and then I'll show you when I get to the painting part. Okay, I decided to take a break again from sanding. I'm tired of sanding. So I'm going to paint all the stuff that's at the front of the car with the rest of my paint that I have, the satin black stuff. So the door panels are vinyl, and then some of these other dash trims and stuff. And then for everything else that's going to go in the back of the car, I got the same brand, just the actual trim paint stuff. This stuff obviously works for trims as well, but this is more just for trim. It's not so much for vinyl stuff. But that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to paint all this stuff, get that ready to go, so I can clear more room for the other parts. I got a lot of parts. I didn't realize how much there actually was to paint. So anyway, I'm going to get all this stuff cleaned off, blow it off, and then use some acetone, clean it off, and get painting on this stuff so that it can dry and get out of here so I can get on the next batch. I'm officially done painting all of the trims. These ones are just drying up. Same as with these. Everything in here is just drying up. One last coat I put on. So they turned out really well as well. Other than the couple pieces that had some deeper scratches in the plastic, which it is what it is. This one had a crack in it. I glued it up from the back so it's not going anywhere, but it's got a little sign, but I'm not concerned about it. But again, they're a little shiny because they're still drying up, but they turned out really well. I am really pleased with this product. Works really well. I'm happy with that. And then I got two more pieces sitting up here. So those are drying as well. So while these pieces are all finishing up, drying off, I'm all done with that. I'm going to start reassembling the door panels, get the pieces back in there, get the handles on, the switches, everything put back together so that they are good to go for when I am ready for them, just like the rest of the parts. So you can see them on the table there. I got them all laid out. I'm gonna start putting stuff together and hopefully it all looks good when it's done. One door panel is complete. I think it looks way cleaner than without all that blue stuff on there. Really nice. I'm going to go ahead and assemble the other one, and then I'll show you when they're all done. There we go. Those are both reassembled. All the stuff is in there nicely. Turned out really nice. It's just like that one. Okay, next project is this. It is carpet time. And I couldn't find any more of that good stuff that I was using, but I've heard good stuff about Duplicolor. Some people disagree with that. I'm gonna try it. I really don't care too much about the carpet. I'm gonna have floor mats anyway on top of them, so you're not gonna see too much. I just want them to be black. And like I said earlier, if for some reason this starts fading out or looking ugly, I can get a full carpet kit for like 250 bucks off of Rock Auto. So I'm not concerned about it, but this is 30 bucks. Let's try the paint thing. If that doesn't work, then yeah, we'll go a different route, but might as well try it. So we're gonna see how this works and make it look a little different. So let's see what happens. And if you're worried about the carpet looking dirty, I have vacuumed it, I have cleaned it, I have blown it off with the air hose to get as much as out of it I could, and I also pressure washed it. This is all done the other day when it was nice and sunny. I let it air dry for a couple of days. Then I vacuumed it since then again just to make sure it's all good. So it's about as clean as it's gonna get. I don't have a carpet shampooer. I didn't feel like renting one for that, so we'll see what happens. Well, that took exactly one can for one coat. So Hopefully 2 coats is going to be enough to get this all done. I think it should be. It turned out really well with 1 coat. So on the camera it makes it look really splotchy, spotty, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I guess in person it does a little bit as well, but that's not too bad. So like I said, that's 1 coat. We're going to let this dry up a little bit, and then I'll come back and do a 2nd coat, and hopefully it works out good. So, and I guess time will tell how it's going to be. I will keep you guys updated whenever that time comes to it, but we'll see how it works. So anyway, let's wait, I guess. The fun waiting of paint to dry. Well, there we go. I got 2 full coats on there. It turned out not too bad as far as carpet goes for painting. It's a little rough, but that's to be expected with carpet. Once it's fully dry, I'm going to let it sit here overnight. I'm going to rough it up. They say take a brush. You can brush it, and it'll soften right back up. So I think for a $30 paint job, it was 15 bucks a can. I used 2 cans, so for 30 bucks to change the color of the carpet, that's not too bad. So like I said, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it lasts. If it works good, then we'll keep it. If not, then, well, I'll rip it out and take it out. It's not that much work. I just have to, once everything's complete, I'll just have to pop off a couple trims, pop the seats out, and replace it. But we'll deal with that if that's what it happens to need. But whatever. I'm happy with that. So that is that completed. Okay, I am very excited to show you this. This has been a 2 full day project to get all of these trim pieces done. I hope you can hear me okay. It's kind of windy right now, but I had to set this up outside. So I got the full interior minus the seats done. It's a complete color change. I'm very happy with the way it turned out. I hope it's going to look good when it's all in the car. I'm sure it will, because it looks great the way it is now, so it can only get better once it's in there. So without further ado, let me show you all of the pieces finished. So I'm very pleased with all that. That looks awesome. I'm very pleased with that. They got the carpet inside. That's still drying up. And then I got these seats to do, like I already mentioned. Those will be on another video. I will try to figure out a way to do a budget reupholstering job on that to make them look good. But anyway, for now, that is the interior basically done. I'm very happy with that. That's a huge step forward to getting this project underway, getting it to the next step. So I have to order a body kit still to get the full Eclipse kit that I want to do for the build. And I have to, there's a few things I got to get, but I can start on body work. I can start on getting the rest of the stuff all prepped. There's a small window leak in the passenger side quarter window. I'm going to remove it. I got to get it resealed and put back in. And yeah, I got some rust. There's some rust repair to come on that car as well. So there's a whole lot of things to do. If I haven't mentioned it already in the previous video, I have already been doing some stuff on here. I have put all new brakes on it, new wheel bearing in the front driver's side. I put a new axle shaft in. I put a new clutch master in, a new slave cylinder. Things to get the car running and driving as good as it can, so that I know that once I get to the body work portion of it, all I have to do is make it look good. So running and driving, I just had it insured for a couple days. It drove awesome. It was a lot of fun. It needs a wheel alignment, but most cars do after sitting for a while. This car has been sitting for about a year from a previous guy. He gave up on his project. He kind of gave up on it, didn't want to work on it anymore, or didn't have time, or whatever the case may be. But I'm hoping to bring it back to life. I'm hoping you guys are going to enjoy it. Hope you can stick around for the whole progress for it. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel and like the video. If you liked it, if you didn't, please tell me why so I can improve. If you like the build, tell me you like it. I'm super excited for it. I've been wanting to do something like this since I was a teenager when the movie first came out. So this is a huge thing for me. I've never done such a big project before. I've never owned a turbo car before. It's my first turbo car. So that's a huge step in itself. So I'm going to learn a lot of stuff about that as I go. So stick around. I got lots of stuff to do and a lot of projects to do as well. So thank you again for watching. Until next time, have a great day.